So, I spent about 2 hours watching YouTube videos how to make a business plan, and the only thing that really jumped out at me was a couple of them talked about making a very clear mission. I watched some videos on Julian Assange, watched some videos on Bill Gates, and so here's what I came up with. TOP-WIKI's mission: to help aggregate the loose and restless energy in the world into something productive for society in such a way that harms no one individual or group of individuals. This isn't going over finances or anything like that. We got 9 months to put this together, so yeah, I'm totally exhausted just really thinking about how to come up with a business plan and how to pass this off to my daughters. So what I'm gonna go into now, basically just for the fun of it, is as a nuclear scientist. This is how we do it. This is where we're at scientifically. Now, the first thing you should think when you watch a video by anybody on the internet, especially me, is, does this person know what they're talking about? Are they telling me the truth? Are they telling me the truth to the best of their ability or the best of their understanding? So, of course, I'm going to tell you this is how nuclear scientists understand the genesis of an electron. But maybe what I'm telling you is not true. I don't know. So that's actually something I'm wrestling with. TOP-WIKI's business plan is, in some ways, it's being peer reviewed by hundreds of people, or it's not. Either way, I can't prove that in the traditional way, or maybe ever. So the product that it puts out will have to be palatable for general consumption based off of a certain degree of trust. And it doesn't mean that trust can't be violated, or that trust shouldn't be audited, or that trust shouldn't be reviewed, etc., etc. At the moment, I don't have the best mechanistic process. I feel like just inventing TOP-WIKI as it is now is like probably my greatest intellectual achievement of my life. So when it comes to making it even way better, it's like, oh my gosh, where do I even begin? So I thought, I just want to thank you all for helping me today. And I wanted to talk again about how a nuclear scientist sees the world. And what's really cool about this, guys, is this can be improved upon for helping cure cancer and other things. This may not even be accurate, but if what I'm telling you is, let's say, 85% true, or maybe even sigma 5 true, 1 in a 4 million chance of being wrong, it still could be improved upon. So when we talk about like a neutron, you put an E with 8 little dots around it. So let's, for example, take a slow moving neutron heading toward a uranium-235 atom. It hits the atom. What happens? The atom breaks into two, and it releases 3 more slow moving neutrons. Now, does a neutron have mass? No, it doesn't. Is it an unknown unknown? Well, we know it's there, but we don't really know a lot about it. So what we do know is that the slow-moving neutron heading towards the uranium-235 atom is a virus. It hits the atom uses the atom, whatever it is. We don't have a microscope to see exactly what's going on. It self-replicates itself into 3 more of these little E's with dots around them. And those viruses hit more atoms and cause them to break in half or split. So that's a neutron. A photon is considered energy or a known unknown. So for neutrons almost certainly have mass. For example, when you talk about like a neutron star, we're basically like, it has to, it's a super tiny, highly dense, so it has mass, we just can't measure it. Or we assume it has mass. We can basically prove it has mass, but we have absolutely no way of measuring it. My thoughts are, working as a scientist, that there are probably all kinds of different types of neutrons. Some of them are just like we have viruses, bacteria, fungi. Probably neutrons are a bunch of different things. But Jane and Joe Public can't help pitch in to try to understand it better, because they're not allowed to understand this way of working with knowledge. So energy is a known unknown, or a noun verb, a verb. It's hard to measure the mass of. So for example, a photon at rest has no mass that we can measure. When it moves, we can start to measure its mass. So we consider it energy. A proton or electron is considered this E with a plus sign above it. It's a known noun or a noun. It's easy to measure mass of it. It's three-dimensional. Also, some of you ask, when the female can't measure the mass here, so it just has the mass of the photon, plus it needs a host, or it can't mate. So people are like, "What are you saying? Photons are male and female?" Absolutely. That's the nuclear secrets basically like holds back. So for example, a verb noun or a male is biv, and nuclear scientists joke the biv, the I with the little dot above it, is basically, I'll let you figure that out. And the Roy, the female, has a little O in the center. Anyway, they find a proton they can hit, and then there's a genesis of an electron, which is also called 1 electron volt. And then basically the energy has been expended by the female and the male and combined to create an electron, or 1 electron volt. So the mass of these are no longer measurable. And there you have it. Later on, once you have an electron on that proton, so this is one way of saying there's 1 electron on this proton. This is another way of saying there's 1 electron on that proton. It can be stripped off once it grows in size, etc. But actually, I should go back to part of the whole reason of the invention of TOP-WIKI is to get more people thinking about this and working on it. Like we talked about, emergence is a function of aggregated energy. So when we talk about like a malignant tumor, we're talking about an MAL, but there's no E, like in male and female, that little L becomes a dash and it signifies energy. So when we talk about using like the prefix mal, it's just an MA with an L and there's no E. That means like anti-energy. There may be way better ways of working with these concepts. Sorry, I'm like really tired. Where was I? Yeah, I'm trying to keep this video under 10 minutes. So unlike WikiLeaks, which is, WikiLeaks is fine. It goes after corruption, and that's a good thing in my opinion. I think with PTSD and other issues that I have, I can't be engaged in the gotcha game. It would stress me out too much. So if I'm releasing nuclear secrets, it's to help cancer. It's to help build nuclear engines that can, help with mass transit into space. It's to, it's almost certainly going to hurt some individuals or groups of individuals. But the whole goal, being part of like the TOP-WIKI team, is to basically, TOP-WIKI leaks is entirely about science. Just about science for the sake of doing science. And the whole goal is to try to do it in a very, very careful way where, so if you memorize this, you're in the know. You know as much as a top secret government nuclear scientist. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to try to build a nuclear bomb, or are you going to try to, or are you going to try to like help out with the cure for cancer? One of my biggest complaints, and a lot of my colleagues were complaining to me, was I said, cancer is a malignant tumor. An electron is a pregnant proton. So when we talk about the cure for cancer, like one of my best friend's mom died of cancer, and I'd just be like, I can't really take this seriously, guys, until like major parts of the top secret nuclear framework are available to the public and other people are working to improve upon it and better understand it. I can't take the effort to cure cancer that seriously. It's not that there aren't serious people with serious intentions, but the degree of what they don't know that they don't know is so extreme that it prompted me to try to build TOP-WIKI. So this is kind of what's come out of my 2 hours of looking at business plan videos. Hopefully we'll put in like, I don't know, like 500 or... I can't quit yawning. It's way more exciting than this. This is a major part of the Nuclear Secrets Code. Like, I swear, I've dealt with this information so many thousands of times. Like, it's like whippity frickin' doodah. But human suffering is very, very, very real. It is. Like, I suffer from major depression and PTSD. There are other people who are just dying from cancer, and I thought, let's build something which, especially there's a lot of people out there doing drugs who have just insane amounts of energy from the use of said substances, and what if we could harness that energy into something productive, like improving upon our best understanding of what's going on around us, and doing that over time to where we basically keep getting this textbook, which is like, hey, this isn't perfect, this isn't necessarily exactly correct, but here's the best of where we're at, here's the best of what we understand, here's the intellectual baton pass, run with it, improve upon it, make it better. Unless there's a second organization in the world other than TOP-WIKI to where you can leak stuff back to, your best ideas and whatnot and how to improve upon it, well, then leak it to us at TOP-WIKI. Eventually I'll get an office and an address, and we got the ways that you guys have figured out now, some of y'all. And just want to say thanks, and probably going to go out jogging here in a little bit. And, one of y'all is definitely going to figure out the cure for cancer. I just know it. I just know that one of y'all is going to figure out the cure for cancer. And I'm not in the slightest bit worried about any of y'all building a nuclear weapon. I'm just not. That's law enforcement's job. If you go down that road, that's their job to stop you. This business also is based upon a promise that I made to Vice President Mike Pence to basically help law enforcement the most. And I could go into that more later. So I just think it's cool what our ancestors have figured out. Like Roy G. Biv, baby. And for all of you who have been alluding to the fact that is TOP-WIKI a way for me to become the ultimate Mr. Know-It-All? Yeah, I guess so. Probably. It was always my mom's dream to build something where she could know anything she wanted. So, probably so. I love you all. Bye.